Verbs derived from verbs. So, let us discuss some affixes and prefixes. Most prominent are we that are added to verbs, and the negative are or reversive prefixes an, d, and dis. So, we can have these in the following example. For example, we have verb paint and enter. So, repaint and re-enter, we make them verb. Tie and tangle, untie or untangle. Similarly, compose and sensitize, decompose and desensitize. Entangle, believe, we have disentangled and disbelieve. So you can see that with the help of certain prefixes, we can change a verb into another type of a verb with a different meaning. The prefix re has relationship between morpheme and meanings. For example, it is attached to certain morpheme and it has certain meanings. So semantically, the examples are mostly straightforward, although those with D are less so. To decompose is not to undo the creative work of a musical composer. However, so far as re is concerned, the meaning is very predictable, right? And similarly with other prefixes. Also worth mentioning here is the relationship between the verbs in the left and between the verbs in the right. Verb in the left are intransitive verbs. They do not take an object, and verb in the right are transitive verbs. They take object, right? So lie, past, and lay is its past. Whereas the lay is the first form of the transitive verb, and its past tense is laid. So you can rise, raise, fall, fell, sit, and set, right? So these are transitive and intransitive. The book lay on the table, it's an intransitive verb. And Jill laid the book on the table. He caused it to lay it on the table, right? Cause some X. The transitive verb are all causative, that is, they mean cause to X, where X stands for the meaning of the corresponding intransitive verb, right? For example, raise, X rise. Causative verb pairs nearly all involve conversion rather than either affixation or vowel change. For example, Jill boiled the water, caused plus X. The water boiled, so it is intransitive. The examples represent a residue of a vowel change pattern that was more widespread in the earlier stage of the language, English language particularly. Verbs derived from other word classes. Verbs derived from nouns and from adjectives are numerous. Verbs from nouns are, for example, we use debug, defrost, and delouse. Eyes, organize from organ, organize, patron, patronize, and terror, terrorize. Or we have iffy, beauty, beautify, petrify. There are also some common verbs that are derived from by replacing the final voiceless consonant of a noun with a voiced consonant. For example, we have noun bath and we make it bathe. Bath we have voiceless, and bathe we have voice fricative. Breath and breathe. And similarly, we have wreath and wreath. A meaning for a D at is clearly identifiable. Remove X from. Debug mean remove X from. However, compare its function in deriving verbs from verb desensitize. For example, the suffix identify can derive verb from adjective base to, as just like nationalize, tenderize, intensify, purify. Similarly, the suffix ate shows some sort of ambivalence. Words such as generate, rotate, replicate, etc. Similarly, one prefix to be mentioned, n. That is very common. We make verb with the help of this, which is with its elem of m, right? That is, which form verbs meaning cause to become x, cause to possess or enter x from, for example, a few adjective: enfeeble, feeble, enfeeble, slave, enslave, power, empower. Similarly, with the help of prefix n is combined with suffix n, right? So embolden, embold, embolden, enliven. So this is a very common purpose. However, it must be taken care of that this addition is not at random. It goes with certain words and it does not go with certain words. These verbs have either an intransitive meaning, become x, or a transitive one, cause to become s. All the verbs that we have just talked about. The adjectives that can constitute basis for such verbs share an unusual characteristics. For example, while making verb, we use certain adjectives. So these adjectives have certain special characteristic. For example, if we add n that are imaginable yet do not occur: green, greenen, or narrowen, or strongen, or tallen. So as I just said, they do not get attached with certain adjectives randomly. For example, strong is an adjective. We get around this restriction by adding n instead of the corresponding noun strength, and with strength we use n to make it strengthen. So certain suffixes go with certain adjectives to make them verb, but certain suffixes do not form verbs. So we've just seen that how we can make verb with the help of other verbs, or we can derive verb from other verbs or from other parts of speech.